And the away changing room is down here. As you can see, it's very boring, very dull. It's actually a lot nicer than it used to be. So in the summer of 2022, we hosted 3 of the games for the UEFA Women's Euros. And they told us that the away changing room wasn't nice enough for the teams they were bringing. So they actually changed the changing room to make it a little bit nicer. So we used to have benches that were too big for a player to sit on comfortably. The ceiling, as you can see, is really low. On the back of the toilet doors, there are 2 mirrors. So when you sit down, you have to look at yourself on the toilet. The 2 bathtubs here are facing each other. So when you're in the bath, you have to look your teammate in the eye because you're facing each other. Around here, there's a massage bed, and the massage bed is purposely difficult to move, and that means your teammate is getting a massage whilst the rest of the team is having a shower. The Premier League changed the rules. So at one stage, we only had 1 plug socket in here. As you can see, we've put 1 here now and some there. But before we put those in, the only one we had was here, which is next to the urinals, the toilets. So everything we do in here is about having a negative psychological impact on the away team, making it as uncomfortable as possible. As you can see, if I stand here, you can see how small the room is. A Premier League team will bring anywhere between 30 and 40 people. So that's 21 players. On top of that, you'll then have manager and coaching staff, physios, kit men, analysts, media, all squeezed into this one tiny room. There'll be kit crates, boot boxes. Each player has 2 to 3 sets of kit. Each player has 2 to 3 sets of boots. And it's all squeezed into this one tiny area. And as you'll see when we go to the home changing room, there we have 7 rooms. In here, they have just this one. It's all set up for tomorrow's game. So all the players will be in here. Actual changing room itself has been changed a couple of years ago. Used to be a box room with a pillar in the middle, and the manager decided that his players were hiding behind the pillar. So we changed it into a circular changing room, so then there's nowhere for the players to hide. The devices that you see here, so this is designed to stretch boots. So inside it, there'll be a special mold designed exactly to the player's foot size. And then in here, it stretches it out, so when the player tries his boots on tomorrow, there won't be blisters, and the boots will fit a lot smoother than they would any other time. In each section behind, every player has their own private section, so they get a bit to leave their stuff in. Obviously we can't go into it because of the card, but this is just a peace of mind, so the players can, if they want to, put their phones, wallets, keys, watches, everything in there, so they don't have to worry about it going missing or teammates playing pranks on them. We have 2 screens here. Main one is used for analysis, which I'll show you the analyst room. If the manager wants to make a change, or wants to show his team how to play, he does it on this screen. And on the one on the right is used solely for set pieces. So our set piece tactics and how we play and how we defend and how we attack the set pieces. Through here, we have the ice bath and the shower room. So after the game, a key part of recovery is coming into an ice bath, helps the muscles reset. So through here, we have 7 different rooms. So as you would have seen in the away changing room, they only have 1 room. Here we have the main changing room area. The toilets are separated out from everything else. Through here, we also have the warm-up room. So our warm-up room, or as the scientists call it, the pre-activation room. So pre-activation is the warm-up before the warm-up, before you play the game. So what the guys found, or what the team found, was the second you go out onto the pitch to do your warm-up, and there's a football there, the players were kicking the footballs without having properly warmed up, which then later on led to injuries such as hamstring pulls and tears. So before they even touch your football, the whole squad will be in here, either doing Pilates or stretches. Every player is different, but every player has to do pre-activation. You can see the watt bikes, the yoga mats, which the guys bring in. We have yoga specialists, all set to get the guys prepared for the game. The reason we have the stadium printed up on the wall here is because if you can see the speakers on the ceiling, we actually play the sound of the crowd from outside into here. So if you were to come and stand in the middle, everything you'd have seen in the away changing room is set to psychologically impact them in a negative way for the away team, whereas in here it's all about positive psychological effect. So for a kid, a youngster who's just come into the first team for the first time, they can stand here and they can look around the stadium whilst the noise of the fans is coming through, and in their mind they can take a picture of what it actually looks like to play in front of a full stadium. It's all about that positive psychological effect. We have the manager's room and first team coaches. It's quite important for the manager to have their own room away from the players. Depending on the manager, they have a strong thought that the change room is for the players. So in here, the manager and his coaches can take some time away and figure out, again, there's the tactics board here, so they'll be able to chat in private about how they want to play and set up, and then go out and give that information to the team. So you can see everything is the same here. They have their own private locker, private section, and all of their kit is set out ready for tomorrow. So through here is our analyst suite. It may look like quite a boring room when you walk in, but it's probably one of the most important. So on a match day, we have 3 or 4 analysts, and 2 of them will be in here. Their job is to watch the game, see how the away team are playing, see how we're playing, but then they're also tracking the stats at the same time. So anything from how far a player has run, how fast they've ran, how many times they've sprinted, how many times they've stopped sprinting and decelerated, how many tackles, passes, shots, how long they've had the ball for. Any stat you can think of, the guys are tracking it in here. And that's important because then, as you've seen in the home changing room where the players get changed, this is the studs for the boots, so you may need to come and have a little closer look, but there's different size studs depending on the weather. So at the moment where we are today, it's pouring with rain, which means they'll probably end up playing with the 15mm studs because they'll need more security underneath their feet the bigger the stud. If it's a dry day where there's no rain, we'd go for the 11mm. Obviously every pitch is watered differently and watered to a certain level, so depending on that as well and how the manager wants the pitch watered will depend on which size boots or studs the players wear. The drinks up here, so obviously you've got the normal water, and then from here these ones all have different hydration tablets in. Hydration is obviously a very important factor when playing the football, so the guys, rather water doesn't cut it really, so they have to add hydration tablets to help with the keeping up the hydration during the game. Physio's room. So as I said, when we went into the warm-up room, every player was different. Certain older players need longer to get ready than the younger players, and they need certain treatments. For example, they might have a tight hamstring or a tight calf, tight quads. So they'll come in here with the physios. We have a team of 4 physios on a match day, all getting their own specific treatments per player. And again, if there's an injury, they'll come straight into here and it'll be treated straight away from when the injury happens.